So when we use the form y equals mx plus b, okay, you need to know that the y or the f of x or whatever it is and the x are not changing. For right now, those are all of your equations are going to have. You're going to have y equals something x plus or minus something, okay? It's going to be, and when we do 3, 4, I'm literally just asking you to find two things, the b and the m. So let's just do a quick little review of the b and the m. So when I was explaining Emma's babysitting, equation, b was the beginning value. And most of the time when you babysit, it's 0. Unless you get like gas money or something. So I want you to just kind of remember that B is called our beginning value, okay? And then M stands for, it's the rate of change. So I want you to think about this. I don't know if I told you guys this. M is actually, anybody in here taking French? Okay? M actually comes from the French word called monter, M-O-N-T-E-R. And monter means to climb. And when you think about what that number represents, doesn't it represent the steepness of something? Okay, so you learned last year that M represents the steepness. It depends, it represents whether it's a kind of a not a very steep line or a really steep line or not a very steep line at all. So M stands for monter. It also stands for move, like where does the number move by? What does it change by? Okay? So really all I need you to know is that I'm looking for you to come up with this number and this number. That's it. Two things on 3, 4. All right? So let's take a look at how we find those two things starting with number 1. So you're checking your work as we go. So I'm going to use this color here and highlight when I see that number. When I see that number with my eyes in the chart and it's looking right at me and I don't need to hunt for it, it's kind of like a little mini celebration. I'm going to highlight it. Because when x was 0, and I know that these tables didn't have, the x and the y, and this was the number of hours and this was the dollars, right? So if I'm looking at this, I know that Emma has gotten a $13 bonus because she didn't work any hours, but she still got $13, right? Okay? So right away, if I know that it's going to be y equals something x, and then the beginning value is going to go here, and then the rate of change when I find it is going to go there, it kind of simplifies things. So I'm going to take right away and put this 13 right here because I saw it with my eyeballs, because when x was 0 and y is 13, oh, that means it's beginning at 13. Okay? Then to find the rate of change, remember, we look at the change in the y's and the change in the x's, and we divide this by that. When it's going up by 1, you kind of got it made, right? Because as long as this goes up by 1, whatever number this goes by is your rate of change. So for every hour Emma worked, she earned an additional $7. Oh, so that means that the equation is y equals 7x plus 13? Yes. I feel like most of us are there. Raise your hand if you're with me on that. It's when they start getting a little kooky, right? Okay, so let's just do that real quick. This one, I know it's going to be y equals something x plus or minus something. I see my 0. She made $4 this time. So the colors are to help you know what number to put where. Okay, so do you see the 7 then? 7, 7, 7. All right, again, we luck out because for every one whatever, hour, minute, notebook, this is going up by 19. So because this is 1 and this is 19, 19 is going to go right there. Are you with me? Okay, we haven't done anything too tricky so far. So 19, sorry. So you're checking your work. Number 1 and number 2 right. Let me see hands. Okay, awesome. So, number 3 brings in a whole new kind of option, all right? So, I can't really use this highlighter. Why not? Because I don't see a 0 in the x. It's not there that I can see. I'd have to go find it. So, I'm not going to need this yellow highlighter right now, okay? So, when that's not visible, let's just kind of jump to this. So, let's just say for right now, y equals something X. I'm looking for both. I can't find this, so I'm just going to look for this one. So for every day that you rent this movie past due date or whatever, you owe an additional what? $2.50. I went up $2.50. So guess what? $2.50. If you want to make it like money, you could do it there. So because this is $2.50 and that's 1, that's $2.50. Okay. This is where I feel like people are getting the most confused. You have two options. I'm going to explain them both to you, and you're going to decide which one fits you in your math life better. Option 1 is count backwards. Okay? And counting backwards can be a little confusing. All right? And by count backwards, I mean, hey, if I'm looking to get to X being 0, I'm 4 away. So I got to go back 4 times to get to 0. And every time I go back, I got to go back another $2.50. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Because first of all, for some reason, 50s always confuse people. They'll tell me that going back 1, okay, they'll even write columns. Okay, here's 3. I'm going to go back 1. And they'll tell me $4.50. But that's wrong. Go back $2 from $6 and you're at 4. Go back another 50 cents from 4 and you're at what? $3.50. Okay, that was 1. Now let's go to 2. Let's go back another $2.50 from $3.50. You see how this could be a little bit like exhausting? Okay? So, that's called the count backwards method. Not always your best option. Option 2 is called the formula option. And if you are in algebra, formulas you should be pretty comfy with, right? Formulas mean, I'm going to give you a formula, you're going to plug some things in, you're going to solve a little bitty baby equation, and you're going to get your answer. And as long as you do your math right, you'll get the right answer every single time. So this is kind of a guaranteed, and I'm going to show you when it's going to be best to use this way and when it's going to be best to use this. So I looked at this as for, I don't want to count backwards by $2.50 4 times. I'm going with option 2. Option 2 is this. I know right now of the 2 things I need to find, I only know one of them. But I don't know what this daily rate is. So let's talk about this amount. So if you you go to the video store, how much does it cost to join that club, that video club, right? So that's what I'm on the hunt for. So look, this is the key. I know that y equals 2.5x plus some number. Well, how do we say some number in algebra when we don't know what it is? It's a variable. Let's pick a variable. Should I choose x? No, probably not the best idea, right? Because that x represents something else in this problem. Hey, how about, am I looking for the beginning value? So why don't we use b? Okay, silly question, inappropriate. So now I have 3 different variables, and I need to find the one in red. I'm not sure if you realize it, but if you have 3 different variables and I give you 2 of them, if I give you a problem with 99 different variables and give you 98 of them, you can plug all 98 in and find that one little bitty one. So I need to put a value in for y, and I need to put a value in for x. Well, you got a whole table of them. Pick one. If you choose this x, though, then you have to choose this y. You can't choose this x and this y, or this x and this y. So let me say this. If you choose x is 4 and y is 6, and somebody next to you chooses x is 5 and y is 850, and somebody does this one, if you do it right, do you think you'll all get the same answer? Yes, if you do it right. Okay, common mistake. People go and read this and they say 4, 6, and they have that order in their head, and they go 4 here and 6 there. What's wrong with that? Y is not 4. X is. So some people may have to go, okay, I got to write that up here because I'm going to get confused on where to put it. Okay, now what is y? 6, 2.5 times x, which is 4, plus the b. Having 4 piles of $2.50 gives you $10. This is a itty-bitty baby equation from 2-1 that we all should be doing in our sleep right now. Subtract, and you get negative 4 is equal to b. Oh, I'm not done yet, because I just found out what b is. Mrs. D didn't say what's b. She said what's the equation. So what goes on that line right there? Negative 4. Oh, so I must have had a coupon because my total cost is equal to $2.50 per video minus $4. So I got my first free and little towards the second. Does that minus 4 make sense? Okay. All right, let's do this next one. So let's say I am in charge of planning our family vacation, okay? And we want to go to a ranch. And I don't know if you realize, let's just do this. So I know I'm looking for y equals x. When I start calling places, I need to know 2 things from the person on the other end of the phone. Hey, what's your security deposit? And how much does it cost per person? Do you guys know what a security deposit is? Yeah, so like my daughter from college, when we were talking about does the nannying, she sent me a message the other day. She's moving different apartments, and she had to pay a $500 security deposit and first month's rent. So she had to pay this leasing company $850. So she, of course, mom could look at the lease. So, because when you sign a lease, that's like the real deal. Like you can be held accountable for all kinds of things. So I wanted to know, what is this $500 for? Oh, it's a security deposit. Well, a security deposit means you're going to give me $500 to move in here. And when you leave and you move out, if you left my rental property the way that you found it, you'll get your $500 back. In a college town, right, where every kid in there might not be people who take care of things, right? So here's $500 on move-out day. Guess what? You're not getting any of it back because I had to fix the hole that you punched in the wall. Right? So that's what a security deposit is. So she had to pay them $500, and she'll get it back because she'll keep track of it, and she'll keep a track of it. So that's kind of like when we go places as a family. I got a budget. I'm the family budgeter. I need to call people at this ranch and say, how much is it going to cost security deposit for my family to stay there? And how much per person? Okay, so let's find those 2 things out. Well, it's not kind of showing real easily what that is, so I'm just going to go right to the per person cost. This is going up for every 2 people. This is the information that the person on the phone gave me. And they say, yes, Mrs. Z, for 2 people, it's going to cost you $100. And I say, awesome. So that's only how much per person? Great. Sounds good so far, $50 per person. But what's that security deposit going to run me? 2 options. Count it back or work it out in a formula. So for this one that's at 4, this one might not be too horrible, right? I could probably figure this one out. It's going by 2s, right? So I'm just going to go back 2 from 4. And I'm going to go back 100 from 350. That's 250, right? Ooh, I'm only one more step of 2 away from 0. Let's just do it again. 0. And I got to go back another 100. So back 100 from 250 is 150. Oh, there it is. Found you, right? So plus 150. Let me just show you the other option, and then we are almost done. The other option is my cost is equal to $50 per person plus some beginning value. Don't know it. But I'm on the other end of this phone going, okay, I can figure it out. So I'm going to use 4 and 350. 4 is X, though. 350 is Y. And 50 times 4 is 200. Equals 200 plus B. Oh, there's my 150. 200. Right? So you see how we got it both ways? Is this helping kind of figure out where to get that number from? Okay, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 more, and then we're going to practice again. Okay, so are you ready? Woohoo! It's going up by 1s. Do a little dance, right? Awesome, because if this is going by 1s, my rate of change is going to be whatever is that number right there. So from -4 to -7, be careful, it's going down. So y is equal to -3x. I know that much. Hey, which option? Count backwards or formula? I'm counting backwards because it's 1. I only got to literally count backwards 1 to get to 0, but be careful. You got to know what to do with that -4. If this is going down 3 to the right, then to figure that out and go backwards, you got to go up 3 from -4. And what's up 3 from -4? -1. And there's my, when x is 0, y is -1, that number goes there. Are you with me? Okay. Because this next one is a little weird. Okay? 1 to 3 is up 2. 3 to 6 is up 3. 6 to 8 is up 2. And 8 to 11 is up 3. Well, let's see what this does. Down 6. Down 9. Down 6. Down 9. Okay. Change in y divided by the change in x. And so this is going to give me negative 6. And I really should do it this way. Remember how I did this? It's these divided by each other. What's negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3. Awesome. And then I remember Colin said, so can we just do 1? And we said, maybe you should do 2 just to be on the safe side. Is negative 9 divided by 3 also negative 3? Yep, there it is. There's my rate of change. And now I just have to find the, okay, y-intercept. All right. Yes, go ahead.
If you were to count backwards, you'd count in 8.
Awesome. Okay, I love this. Is everybody listening? If you were to count backwards, what would you do? Would you go backwards 6? Would you go backwards 9? And my answer to that is neither. How many do I need to go to get to 0? Just 1. And isn't this a unit rate? So this is for 1. So to get from 0 to 1, I would have to go up. If this is going down, I would go up 3 from 8. And that would get me 11. Okay, perfect example of why it's really, really nice to be able to do that. Because sometimes they're just going to be confusing. Okay? Are you kind of feeling a little bit better about this? So what I need you to do now is you're going to check the back.